man. Doug's in the
Hey, what's going on with it, Doug? How you doing, man? I appreciate you joining us today, man.
Yeah, Jerry told me to do this show, and you're right. I cut way back on interviews, but at the end of the year, I do them. All overseas, I constantly get people on the interview, but I'm in the process right now of writing my book with Alan Gordon.
Okay.
Screenplay, all in one. And I'm letting a lot of people go, you know what I'm saying? My man, Laylaw is about to drop soon. So I want to see what Laylaw, has to say because he was, of course, an intricate part of that whole thing. But, as far as with interviews, everybody's doing them now. And I just kick back. A lot of people, some of them are not telling all of the truth, but, it's what it is. But, yeah, I'm here. Like I told you, I'll be here.
Hell yeah, Doug, and I really appreciate it, man. Like you were saying, Jerry Heller, he was a good dude. And like I said, he always told us, he was like, if you want to know anything, you got to ask Doug, because Doug was really in the streets. He was out there touching the people. He was touching the records. I just want to ask you to start off, what was your introduction into the promotion game?
Well, it started with Giorgio, as I've always said on other interviews. Giorgio is a guy I grew up with in San Francisco. Well, first of all, Giorgio is how I got into the music game. Him, and I also give the credit to the Barge family. My first week in Los Angeles, I was living out in Laverne, and I was getting restless, and I was staying at that time with my, which would be my wife, Eleanor. So she said, you need to go up to the city because Giorgio kept calling me, hey, man, come up to the studio with me. And so one Friday I just decided to come up to the studio, go into the studio. Tommy D. Barge and Bobby D. Barge was in there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, wow, this dude's telling the truth. And next door, Rick James was in the studio. And it was just a studio that everybody went to in the valley off Riverside. So that's how I got into promotion. Long story short, one day me and Giorgio, we was at Carlos and Charlie's. That used to be a big-time R&B club back in the day. Prince and his crew just so happened to come in there. And we was already in the VIP, and Prince and Giorgio was cutting their eyes at each other. Prince was wondering who he is, and we knew who he was. So we planned it off. And so after my second Long Island iced tea, I went and started talking to Brown Mark, who was his bass player at the time. And I was like, this, that, and the other. Yeah, and then Brown Mark asked me, was Giorgio an artist? And I said, yeah, he's an artist. And he was like, wow, can he sing? I said, he can sing, but I was putting extras on it, to be honest with you. Mainly what he had was a look and a style. They asked us to come hang out with them at at Sunset Sounds, and at that time they was doing the album, the Raspberry Beret album. So we went and we hung out with them.
So that's like early 80s, right?
It's like around, I guess, 85-ish maybe. 84, 85-ish. With that Raspberry Beret song. And from there, they signed me to Paisley Park. And then he go out to Minneapolis messing around with Prince's girls, and Prince basically dropped him and sent him back to L.A., and he was all dejected. But at that time, his which would be his wife, Kelly, was living on El Centro and Afton, this street in Hollywood. And on the corner of El Centro in Santa Monica was this record company, this record pressing place called Michel'le. So when he was gone, I used to be like, dang, you saw all the little stuff up there. And one day I just wandered in and asked him, how much does it cost to press 1,000 records? They told me $1,000. So when Giorgio got back, he did this nice demo with Brown, Mark, and Prince. And they had this one song called Dangerous. I said, look, dude, you should just flip that song and call it something else, because that song was a hit to me, right? And he took that song Dangerous and called it Sex Appeal. And me, Lionel, and Jeff, we pressed it for $1,000. The day it was finished, Giorgio, myself, his wife, who would be his wife, they were girlfriend, boyfriend at the time, Kelly, and myself, flew to New York, freezing cold, right? So this is how I got introduced to the promotion game. We just show up at KISS. You had KISS and WBLX at that time in New York. This is like around late 85, late 85 because it was the winter. I'll never forget that. 86 is about to come. And I just somehow talked our way into the station, and before you know it, they was playing the record as we was leaving. Then I did the same thing in KISS. I just, told him some shit, and he was over there. I said, you just look mysterious. You know what I'm saying? Just look mysterious and let me do all the talking. He listened to the record, and they played it. So as we floating around New York, we see Ice-T and his DJ, what's the DJ again? Evo, no, not Evo, but the
I can't think of his name
from
right now. I know exactly
Damn,
who you're
I'm
talking
sorry. Not Africa Islam.
Yeah, Africa Islam.
Africa Islam. Yeah, it was Africa Islam, and they was performing at the Roxy. I mean, yeah, they was performing at this club called what was it, Church? What was the name of that church club? It was called, I forget what the name of the church. They'll know on 6th Street. The Limelight. The club was called the Limelight. This beatbox dude, Eminem, was opening up. Ice-T was the main act, and they had a few more acts in there. And then Ice said, well, because he knew Kelly from movies. Kelly was a movie, she was an actor. So Ice-T said, man, y'all should come down to our show. And he said, bring the record. He said, yeah, I heard that record on KISS. He said, that's you? He said, yeah, y'all should bring some of the records. And he said, I'm going to have Africa Islam play some of them. Play it. So we go show up at the club, and that kid, Eminem, he was like a beatboxer kid. He must have murdered it. This dude was nice. I don't know whatever happened to him. So from there, we came back to Los Angeles. We got it on KJLH. We got it on Power 106. That was the first week Power 106 station was starting. They had just, Power 106 just first came on the scene. So we got it on Power 106. That was Coolio's wife. Josefa Selena, whatever her name was. I'm not sure what her actual name was. Then we got it on 99.1. Then we got it on in San Diego. We got it on in the Bay Area where we were from, KSOL. And we got it on KSOL and KDIA. Then we got it on KPOO. And it just started falling like dominoes, man. And Russ Regan heard it on his way out to Palm Springs. And Jerry Heller. This is how I meet Jerry Heller. And Jerry Heller.
That's what I was going to ask you next.
Yeah, that's why I'm just trying to give everybody the actual footsteps of what happened. So Jerry Heller and Maury Alexander wanted to meet with Giorgio. So, we met them down in Michel'le. And Russ Regan wanted to give him a deal, and Jerry and Maury got him a deal at Motown for $7 million.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And that's how you met Jerry. Now, was your introduction after Jerry that you immediately start working with Jerry? Because I hear you saying, like, at the Michel'le days, you could just press up your own records. So basically, Jerry told us you used to just get the records and get out there and beat the street early in the day.
Yep.
And
this is how I went back to Michel'le and started working with Jerry. So after we give Giorgio the $7 million deal, we were supposed to get broke off. Me and his deal was I should at least made $30,000 to $50,000 off of that $7 million. That wasn't a lot of money, right? This dude didn't even give me, Lionel, and Jeff that. This dude wrote us a check for $2,500 a piece. Wow! And I wanted to knock his head off, and I just had my first child, which is my oldest daughter, Erica. I was like, man, I can't take, and my wife was going to be looking at me funny style. I was like, man, I was so mad. But anyway, I told him, no, I can't. I never even cashed that check. So I was just that upset, right? And didn't know what I was going to do. I remember just sitting at home mad as a mother sucker, right? So the next morning.
Ready to get at somebody for that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Ready to tear something up. Then something just told me. I just got up, took a shower, like it was nothing, like every other day. And I'm just driving to L.A. At first, I was going to go to the Barge House and hang out, right? So as I'm riding down the freeway, and I'm on the 101, right? And then I pass up Santa Monica, and then I see the Gower exit. And something just told me, shit, go to Michel'le and ask for a job. You can do the promotion thing at this point, and everybody knew I could, right? So I get over real quick, and I get off on Gower, bust the left, and go to Santa Monica, and Don McMillan was in there. And he said, Doug, and everybody was like, Doug, what are you doing here? We thought all you guys would be rich by now. And I told them what happened. I said, man, I need a job, man. I got a little girl, man, and ain't no kids. And, you know, at this point, that was my wife. She ain't trying to hear none of my damn excuses. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
He was like, and so Don was like, what? And how much did he give you? He said, you guys did all the work. And then Don said, yeah, I'll hire you. I said, for real? He said, yeah. Just go back there and look at some records you want to promote. And he said, whichever records you want to promote, I'll give you $2,500 to start, and I'll only top them off at if you work them 3 months, I'll give you $4,500. I said, okay. I go back there, and I see Egyptian Lover. Of course, I grabbed that. But when I started playing on Unknown, to me, Unknown's label was like the dopest hip hop stuff. He had
DJ Unknown.
Yeah, DJ Unknown. He had Techno Hop. I just thought the name was just whack because this dude really, to me, had the first real lyricist in hip hop. You know, he had King T. You know what I'm saying? Miss Master Spade. He had DJ Battery Brain. He had these up-and-coming kids, CNW, you know, that's 8, you know, and Chill. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, his stuff is nice. So I grabbed everything he had. And then there was another thing that I liked. It was on TNT called Underwater Rhymes, and the guy that so happened to be there, too, his name is Adrian Gregory. You see what I'm saying? Now this is Digital Underground. So I grabbed a record. And I grabbed, I liked it, the Juice album. I liked it, that whole album. So I grabbed the Juice. You see what I'm saying? So before I knew it, I had a big old stack of records. And I was like, man, he ain't going to give me all this money. Shoot, when I walked up out of there, I had like $40,000 check.
So now
and I loaded up the Suzuki. Yeah. And I just started killing it. So as soon as I started promoting them records, because I live way out, you know, Fontana / Rancho Cucamonga, right off Citrus and Foothill, right? So what I would do, I would start my stuff in Coachella Valley. Because there's no traffic going that way, and then I would cut back, and that's what I started doing. And before you know it, I was go, you know, when I really got into it, I would go as far as up to Oregon, you know, cut back, or go to 10 Freeway Way, just go all through Arizona, get tired, get a hotel. You know, hang out with people. And since I had the good music, got in clubs free. Everybody looked out for me, told me where to go, where not to go. You know what I'm saying? Then after a while, I built up, you know, somewhat of a network of the real DJs. And, you know, I would go at, like, certain places like AMC or Groove Time Records and sit there all day with them. I wasn't a person that just left something. And, you know, I built relationships with, you know, the Rage, the first rap record store. And then after a while, my name just started bubbling. So I remember Hammer and them coming in there. He had Stupid Def Yell, and they was like, you Doug Young? And they said, yeah. I said, man, could you promote this for me? So that's what started happening. Everybody started looking for me then. Because as soon as I would grab a record, I would go everywhere, bro. I would go college stations. I go everywhere. I don't give a dang what it was. If I saw a bunch of people, I just jump out and give them, you know, we had tapes and, you know, vinyl then, and then lighted club owners that I was only coming with pop records. Because of the Giorgio Sex Appeal record. And then I also had an independent record I put out called Dino. It was this Italian guy Lionel found in Nevada, in Las Vegas, I meant to say. And he had a record called Summer Girls, and that record really blew up that we promoted. So then from there, it just started snowballing.
Yeah, so you on the ground running. You getting all the records because you can go up to Michel'le and just grab whatever. And it seemed like you had an ear for the music, too, because it seems to me as if you was promoting the albums that other people probably were not trying to promote. Did that help you advance in the game later on because you were doing that, too?
I think, like they say, timing is everything, okay? And, of course, I'm a kid. So, like, in college, all we started listening to was, you know what I'm saying, like the Planet Rocks, of course. You know, of course, we all come from George Clinton. We kids of the 70s, right? So when we hearing the loops and the stuff, that stuff was like, you know what I'm saying, was stuff that we was listening to. I was listening to Curtis Blow. I was listening to Run DMC and them. You see what I'm saying? I'm listening to that stuff. So I'm seeing a hole in the game. So it was a massive hole in the game at that time, because you had most black artists, you know, like DeBarge, which were my friends, and they were crossing over. Remember the first the first All This Love album, right? And then as that group started breaking up, that's when I was really like entrenched as they friends. They bickering, and Motown is making L make the songs more poppy. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Because of Michael Jackson's success. You see what I'm saying? So most people were making, that were R&B people, trying to now make pop songs. So they don't even realize, or just pop, so-called watered-down R&B to me is what I was called. So, for instance, on that The Rhythm of the Night album, Chico, Bobby, L, Tommy, they did this song called You Wear It Well, and if they would have just left that original version alone, that song was the fucking shit. But then Motown took it and just watered it down and popped it all out and messed it up to me. You know what I'm saying? And and that's where rap had that opening.
So rap was able to slide on in, because especially for us, we you was born in the in the end of the 60s. We was born in the end of the 80s. I mean,
no, I'm born in 62. I'm born in 1962.
You was born in yeah, so you coming out of school, like 78, 79, somewhere around there?
No, I'm the last of the 70s, 79. And I always tell people that the year I started to remember is when King died. I was sick, because everybody in San Francisco had lost their mind and started burning the city up, even though it was raining that day. And that was the day that I started remembering, was 1968 in San Francisco. It was like where we stayed at 631 Fillmore Street. Like on Sundays, the Hells Angels used to ride their motorcycles down. And then I just started becoming real bad, and just knew I can do stuff myself, because I was able to find my way home from school that day, because everything was just chaotic in the city, right?
Yeah.
So I remember when I found my way home, I was like, wait a minute, I know how to get around now. So from that time, I started sneaking on buses and all kinds of I was a little ratchet little kid.
Right.
I would go down there
city exploring. I said traveling the city and exploring.
Yeah, and then I would go down to like a Golden Gate Park, and we used to see all the little hippie buses and sell them like chocolate, because they would all be in there high or whatever, and I would be stealing out of their bags and all kind of stuff. I ain't gonna even lie. I would sell them water for $1. I was always like a little hustler, man. And then it was all those free concerts there. And then San Francisco, it was just it's really a small place, but it was just a dope place to grow up during that time. And then we were like the last of the 70s, you know, with Wilson High. We was out of there, and guess what? We all now about to go down to this place we used to call San Jose. Really, the only thing in San Jose was the flea market, the San Jose flea market. But my brother was in college there, Greg, the oldest, James, went there, so I went. And this new thing they about to have out here called Silicon Valley. So it's all that. You see what I'm saying, in the 80s?
Yeah.
Remember, we were the Pong kids. We were the Atari kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of that stuff. When I graduated when I graduated from college, didn't want to go back to San Francisco. Started getting in a lot of trouble in San Jose. And Giorgio told me, man, you should come to L.A., dude. And then my wife, she was like, well, you know something? I'm thinking about moving home anyway. So I said, okay, well, let's go. So we left the Bay Area and moved to Southern California.
Wow. So let's fast forward a little bit. After you get to Michel'le and you're doing your thing, now you working for other record companies at this time too, right?
I'm working for everybody.
Exclusively?
No, I'm working for everybody after a while, because I was like really the only game in town. You know, you had Scotty out there, of course, Scotty D, my road dog. You know what I'm saying? You had Sir T that always had the center covered. But at least in L.A., I guess because I came from that college background with Lionel and Jeff too, you know, because Lionel was my fraternity brother. And Lionel, you know, was the head of promotions after a while. for Bad Boy once he moved. Because Bad Boy, Arista tried to get all of us to move.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, to New York. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm from the West Coast. I'm not going anywhere. Bye, see y'all. L.A. Reid talked those cats into coming out, and Jeff became the head of Bad Boy rap promotion, and Lionel became just the head of the urban promotion in general for L.A. Reid and the whole Clyde Davis thing, right? So what I did, fast forwarding, like you said, was I'm doing promotions for everybody, from MCA, I don't care who you were, Warner Brothers, everybody, because I'm the only gang. So now I'm just helping set up street teams and moving, doing it moving. And yeah, go get Gio, woo, for Jai. Woo, Bailey, okay, move from Priority, go over here to MCA. You know what I'm saying? Okay, go get somebody over here from okay. You see what I'm saying? And at the same time, they would all employ me to just keep it, you know, because like the way I used to explain it to them, look, you cannot do this like y'all do regular music. You have got to get the street to certify it first. If you try to put this stuff on the radio before we even know who that person is, we're going to automatically regurgitate it and throw it up and say, nope, we don't. Remember, we had sayings for it. We don't believe the hype. Nope, don't care how many times you play it. Now they done took the game back and look at these idiots now because they play something a lot. You know, it is what it is. But
right, exactly.
But my loyalty was always with Ruthless. Everybody knew that basically I got a whole bunch of other people I'm working for. Don't ask me nothing. I'm not coming to none of y'all marketing meetings. I'm not getting on none of your conference calls. Send me my records, send me my money, and get out of my way. I got you. Right. Because you will feel what I'm doing. I'm not going to go and play none of the marketing meeting games when people are lying. And then when things fall apart, they start blaming each other. Nope, not me. Nah, I'm not going for that banana in the tailpipe.
Hell yeah, I could dig that. So, like, what was your introduction to Eazy-E and starting to work for Ruthless? Because you already knew.
Okay, this is where the Straight Outta Compton movie, it was a movie. This is what happened. One day, Jerry calls me because I'm working all of the projects he's managing basically the LA Dream Team, Rodney O, Joe Cooley, everybody, you know what I'm saying? The Supercuts, all of those stuff, Egyptian Lover and them. And he said, I need you to be at Michel'le at 10 o'clock in the morning. Jerry, I don't like having to fight that. Travis said, Doug, I need you at this meeting, okay? Okay. So, like, damn, got to be there at 10 o'clock, And I was coming away from, like they would say, the San Bernardino-ish area, right? Mm-hmm. I fought the traffic. I get there at like 9-something, like 9:10. And I'm waiting around. Jerry's not there. Nobody's there. So I'm kind of in my old, in my office, this makeshift office that I had, and just playing records and just messing around, seeing what was new. You know what I'm saying? What I need to be listening for. So then I go out the side door, light a Newport cigarette, waiting on everybody to come. And I'm looking at them like, damn, it's 10 o'clock and Jerry ass ain't even here. Then Jerry comes and he walks in, he waves at me as I'm smoking. I wave back at him. And then all of a sudden I see on the south side of the street, somebody pulls up in a burgundy Suzuki Samurai with the hard top. I had a blue Suzuki Samurai with the soft white top.
Okay, the Suzuki joint. I remember them joints.
Yeah, that was the little baller hood cars, we can call them now. If you had a little money, you know what I'm saying, you had a little something about yourself, that was our little car in LA at that time, right?
Yeah.
So, and then two cats step out on the driver's side. Cat, he stepped out in some jeans. He had some Converse on. He had the little brick style like cell phone. Had a little jewelry on, Jerry curl. I was like, And then another guy, almost the same, step out on the other side. And I said, I bet you this is these other cats. The guy that step out on the driver's side is Eazy. The guy that's going to be with him is MC Ren, right? So I put the cigarette out and went through the side door, tell Jerry, because Jerry's in Don McMillan, the owner of Michel'le's office. I said, man, I think they're here. He said, how you know if it's them? You never met them. I said, you say they some rappers, right? L.A. rappers, right? He said, yeah. I said, it's them, because they look like gangbangers. And he started cracking up, right? So I said, I know it's them. I be around enough L.A. cats. And one of them, and I told him one of them looked like he got a little money. All right? So they come in. Jerry said, yeah, you were right, Dougie. He goes, Dougie, you were right. And so Don said, hey, Jerry, you want to use my office? So he said, yeah, let us use your office. So first we was all going to Don McMillan, the owner of Michel'le's office. And at first it looked like, Ren was going to come in. Then all of a sudden he just made like a left turn and went who knows where. So it was just me, Jerry. This is when he first physically meets Eazy. I guess they was talking over the phone through Lonzo. You see what I'm saying? When you first physically meet him, I'm at that meeting. So we sat up there with Eazy and we talked for like about 3-4 hours, man. He breaking down what he's doing. You know, everybody trying to sound like New Yorkers, he said, and we're going to come with our own stuff. We're going to give the L.A. slang. We're going to give, you know, how we get out here. You know, it's going to be no more us trying to sound like New York rappers. And I'm like, okay, all right, okay. And he said, you want to hear some of the stuff? I said, nah, don't do that, bro. He said, why not? I said, because you're going to want me to sit up here and be bobbing my head and bobbing my neck. And what if it's garbage? Can I tell you it's garbage in front of your face? And he started cracking up. I said, what I'm going to do is, look, when he told me, and then I said, well, what's the name of the group? He said, N.W.A. I said, what does that stand for? And he just started laughing. He wouldn't tell me. I said, well, what does it stand for, man? He said, he wouldn't tell me. I said, man, what the hell does it stand for? No white people allowed or something? He said, yeah, that's what it stands for. I said, yeah, right. Well, anyway, and it was an EP. I said, well, you know, I usually charge this much for this amount. He said, but how do you know if you're going to do it or not? I said, well, I'll tell you. And I'll give you basically the money back. But if it's as good as Jerry's saying it is, for him to drop all of his other clients, this shit better be good. You know what I'm saying? So he started laughing about that. So he chipped me off a whole bunch of money, you know, reaching in his socks, gave it to me. And I say, as soon as, because I used to do my A&R when I would leave Capitol Records, because the traffic couldn't be done died by then. So I would smoke a little weed in the car. And then I'll get on that ramp, go up, and then just head out towards, you know, the Inland Empire. So as I'm going up the ramp, I pop the tape in. I said, here we go, because I was buzzing a little bit. And then Dope Man, you know, 8 Ball Junkie came on first. Oh, my God. And you blew your mind, huh? I had a sound system in that car, too, you know. So, I mean, the woofers was woofing, as they say. The tweeters was tweeting. The bass, the bottom was kicking. The sonics was incredible. It was just so clean, but just the harsh, raw nastiness and the filth of the lyrics. I was like, what the fuck is this? But the shit was so fucking dope. I'm going, whoa. And, so, you know, then played Boys in the Hood, and that shit was just, all of it was just, because the first one was, it was 8 Ball Junkie, Boys in the Hood, then they had them 2 whack records on it. They had Fat Girls and L.A. at the Place. Remember that first one, very first single, or Fat EP or whatever you wanted? Yeah, Fat Girls. Yeah. Remember they had those was the 4 songs that I had, no labels, it was just white labels, and then he said, I said, well, when is the artwork going to be done? And as we was talking, and they was getting all that done, because once I left that meeting, this is going to be the day that they take that picture you see with all of them sitting in with the Jerry curls and, you know, from Jinx to
Crazy
everybody.
Crazy and Prince, all of them.
Yeah, everybody. Remember that? They took that in the Michel'le loading dock area in the back of Michel'le. That's where they took that picture at. So he said the artwork is going to be done by tomorrow, he told me. And he said the next day you can just come get the other ones. I say, well, nah, this is good. I can just use the white labels. As a matter of fact, if this thing ever really blow up, whoever have this stuff is going to be worth a lot of money, you know. So I got started. I was so excited by it. I didn't even go home. I went straight to this record shop called Groove Time to tell Al. You know what I'm saying? I tell Al, and Jamo and all of those cats and Grover and all of them. Then I went and took it to my boy at AMC down the street from Groove Time. And then I took it to my man out in Riverside, Tommy, this dude, he had his record shop out in Riverside. It was just a lot of people. I just had to take it to them. I'm like, man, you got to listen to this. You are not going to believe it. And they were all just blowing my phone up, saying, yeah, my God. And then, like, that week, and I just gave them all a free box of 50, because that's when 50 records came in a box, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were gone by the weekend.
Wow. They're flying off the shelf.
They were flying off the shelf, dude. And they was like, damn, Doug, you got any more? I said, hell yeah, I got more. I got like, I took everything. I took every piece of promo that they had. So I think that was like 1,000 pieces that I had in my garage. Now, I'm thinking, God damn, the things went that fast? And then,
was that some of the fastest records that you got rid of at that time, leading up to that?
Ever. It was like, what is this? You see what I'm saying? Because at first I was gonna be like, man, maybe people gonna be thinking they cursing too much or something, Wasn't sure. But the actual production was ridiculous. When you think
especially
about
on the
Sonic,
man, when that shit just first come in with the sounds and the way the drum kick. I remember I was a youngin' when it came out, man. When we first heard that shit, man, you couldn't tell us shit, man. And I'm a Midwest boy, and we was in the Midwest thumping that shit. That's what we love, man, in Chicago.
And then you used to take that record and especially in L.A. and just really mess it up when you hit the switches. They used to be just up there killing it on Crenshaw on Sunday. And then when I saw the Latinos in Whittier, because that was their cruising spot, right? I used to go hang out with them. And over in the Inland Empire, I'm getting that stuff is kind of getting foggy since it was a long time ago. But it's another one down there, almost by the 99.1 station. That was their cruising spot. That's all you started hearing coming out. Then the Glass House, the Six Folds, and you can just see that the gang members started gravitating for it. That's all you heard. I don't care where you went. So then K-Day, Greg Mack just asked Eazy to clean it up, and he threw it on. And then at first, we thought it was just going to be a West Coast thing, really. But then it just started getting all kind of crazy numbers, because I used to just sit there and watch all the product going out the store. I mean, because my office was right by, what was his name? Jim Takita. Jim Takita was the product manager at Michel'le. And at one point I had counted up to almost 300,000 units had moved out. And during that time, Jerry still couldn't get him a deal. So one day, and this is where the movies are lie too. What happened was Brian Turner never went and saw them perform. Fuck out of here. What happened was he started hearing about the moving of the units because Mark Cerami, Brian Turner. Priority Records was Brian Turner and Mark Cerami. Okay, Mark Cerami parents had an incredible distribution center. Guess where? In the Midwest. That's why y'all got bombarded with all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And when we got to Priority, all they was doing was the radio. So where Brian, and I don't see why people don't never give a lot of the people that had a lot to do with it. Mark Cerami had a lot to do with the distribution part of it. That's why the Midwest was flooded with that Priority product, right? And what really blew the record up was the FBI letter, as we all know. And that's another thing that wasn't true in the movie when they say that Eazy said, "Oh no, we're gonna have this work for us." Yeah, it didn't happen like that. What happened with the FBI letter was Lillian Matulik panicked. She was Brian's personal assistant. Brian was on vacation in Europe, okay? But he had to do not disturb him about shit, okay? So she was scared to call him and tell him that the FBI have just sent a letter to Priority Records. You had Guy Manganiello, all of them was up there scared. There was only a few of us up there. It was Guy. I'm missing two other people. but Lillian called Phyllis Pollock. And Phyllis Pollock is what really sent that group into a different orbit. Phyllis Pollock is one of the
publicist, right?
Yeah, she's a publicist. You know what I'm saying? And she did a lot of that 70s stuff for those rock groups and stuff like that. And then she started getting into rap publicist, being a publicist. So what she had already had a relationship with people like the Village Voice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So what happened was Phyllis Pollock gave that to a friend of hers at the Village Voice. The Village Voice in New York put it on as a front page fucking story. And
that just blew it out the water.
Exactly, because then MTV picked it up. You see what I'm saying? That FBI letter is what blew that group up. If that FBI letter wouldn't have did what it did, that group wouldn't have been nowhere near like that. And then once that thing just exploded and people started protesting the group and protesting what we were doing, all out there in Priority Records and everybody coming for their heads and our heads, and it was like, fuck them. That's when the Eazy was like on some real fuck them. You understand what I'm saying? Then it just super snowballed from there. That's what happened.
Man, and that's why it's so important for guys like you to get your story out, because we see the movie and we know they got to do certain things for the movies to make it the movie, but
to make it move,
like they leave out a lot of the real shit, and guys like you need the credit that y'all deserve. You know what I'm saying? People need to know and they need to understand the people behind the scenes as opposed to just the artists and the producers. It takes more than just that for us to have some of these classic albums that we was able to enjoy then as we still enjoying them today.
That's so true. I always tell people that. I always tell people that, and I think going forward with any other young people, just to give them some advice, if you're on the ground floor or something, it should be a way that the people that actually help with the marketing and the promotion should get some of that royalty, man. Because I know a lot of people that wouldn't have happened if, you didn't have people like Scotty D or Sir T or like myself. Like, for instance, I always tell people the story about Cypress Hill. Cypress Hill almost died a horrible death because Sony didn't know what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? And they were marketing it to the wrong people at first. And that was one of the jobs I didn't get at first. They eventually gave it to me only because the first Cypress Hill record was coming back like boomerang. You know what I'm saying? So, but I stayed on Karen Mason's wig. Karen Mason was the product manager. And I was mad. She gave it to Paul. Paul Stewart is my boy. But like I told him, Paul Stewart only promote, and I wasn't hating on him or nothing. I said, just have both of us on it. It's enough money in the budget. That's when everybody started getting greedy. You see what I'm saying? I said, Paul do what he does in Hollywood, the Melrose, and the Santa Monica area. I go everywhere. You see what I'm saying? And I say, you guys are trying to promote this stuff to white people and black people. First of all, at that time, black people and white people on some low-key shit couldn't stand B-Real's voice. They said it was too high, it ain't going to do this, that, and the other. I said, man, first of all, I wouldn't promote it to them. I would just go straight to the Latinos with it. I kept telling Karen, go to the Latinos. And then she was like, Doug, I couldn't get no money in the budget from you and blah, blah, blah. I said, okay. And I'm going to tell you something. When all that shit go bad, because it was a lot of hype on Cypress Hill coming out, but they started getting all kind of return. She called me in a panic. She said, Doug, you were right. I said, what's wrong? She said, I got 3 16-wheel trucks of returns of Cypress Hill stuff. I said, what? She said, but I can't give you no money to promote it. She was like, I need help. I said, check this out. Do me a favor. Tell them to drill it. Drill the barcode so people don't re-return it. Once you drill the barcode, they'll know it's a promotional thing. I say, send me everything you have. Get it out of that damn warehouse. Lo and behold, 2 days later, 3 16-wheel trucks backs up to my house. And I lived on this brand new Court Street back in the day, right? I'm like, what the fuck? And I mean, I had all the T-shirts, everything. And I had them send my brother James some in the Bay Area. I said, James, we got to take off. We got to get this done or these cats are in trouble. But this fucking album is so dope, people are going to eat their words. So what I did, I rented a van, hopped on that fucking 10 freeway, drove as far as I can. I was tired. Some of the places that I knew from my old trip, I had people mail me my stuff to me. You see what I'm saying? But I put as much I could in the van, and I just kept moving. Every Latino area, I just gave it away. In record stores, I put it at point of purchase. I say, do not give it away in the store. Sell it for $5, and we're going to split the motherfucking proceeds because they ain't gave me a dime for this shit. I said, you're going to have to give me my money because it's going to sell out, but I need you to put it right by your cash register at $5. And everybody knows exactly what I said do, right? And then I'm moving. I'm doing this shit moving. I'm doing it moving. Get back in, go all the way up as far as Seattle, doing the same thing for them. You know what I'm saying? Telling everybody, follow these instructions. Give these posters away. You understand what I'm saying? But put this at point of purchase. I want it in front of your cash register. Cypress Hill. You see what I'm saying? And man, like about 3 weeks later, she calls me. Karen Mason said, I don't know what the fuck you doing, but just keep doing it. She had Tommy Mottola on the phone, and she had Chris Schwartz on the phone, who was the owner of Rough House at that time. They was like, what did you do? I said, man, you guys gave it to the wrong people. It's going to bounce back over to them. You're supposed to give it to the Latino. Duh. I said, dude, you're not listening to the lyrics, my hint. You see what I'm saying? You know, his speak, the way his flair was, I said, that shit was fly. And even speaking of them, I tried to get them a deal on Priority Records, Cypress Hill, right? Brian told me, nah, I don't want them because Jerry Davis had them at first. Actually, Jerry Davis messed up and put out a girl because Jerry Davis got the first label deal with Interscope before anybody got one. But instead of putting Cypress Hill out, he put this girl out. I forget what her name is. And them motherfuckers, because Cypress Hill and my group, Low Profile, we all did our album together at Aladdin. First Muggs was Matthew McDaniel's roommate at what I call the Ice-T hip-hop apartment in Hollywood. And then Muggs and DJ Aladdin became roommates over off Kingsley and Sunset. So we was all homies, sleeping all on the floors, in each other's floors, you know, Dub C, Crazy Tune, Billy Boy, Coolio. That was Low Profile. Jazzy D, all of them cats in the early days, right? And Cypress Hill was, you know, of course, Muggs and all the, you know, the cast of characters that you know. And then we had Funk Doobie, you know, Son Doobie. We had Ralph M. I used to manage them, the K-Day Mix Masters. So that we was all really just a family, and I wasn't letting them cats go out, as they song say. I wasn't letting them go out like that. So from there, this is how they paid me. They didn't let me do Rough House. Didn't let me do, but I killed them on that product. I made a lot of money off the product, by the way. Rough House didn't let me do everything. They let me do the Crisscross record. And then they let me do the Fugees stuff.
Yeah, so you was more than just West Coast. I got a caller right now. He from out of France. He a contributor to the show. This our homie Sam, man, and he got a lot of expertise on this too. He wanted to ask you a question, so let me patch him in real quick. All right, let me see, Sam. It's snowing out here, by the way. So
yeah, hi McJ.
What's going on with it, Sam?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. Can you tell us about your work at Michel'le Records with the clientele, also with the owner of Michel'le, Don McMillian? Can you tell us?
Okay, you said okay. So that I'm clear, you said with DJ Clientele.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's my frat brother. Actually, DJ Clientele is how I met all the K-Day Mixmasters DJs. Like I say, when I first moved, first of all, I'm a Sigma, okay? I'm a Sigma.
Okay.
This is what happened. When I left college, first of all, I started the Sigmas at San Jose State. There was no Sigmas there. I was a freshman and started the Sigmas. Anyway, that's how I met Lionel. Lionel and them pledged through San Francisco State. Lionel was from Orange County, okay? But after the first year that Lionel and Mike pledged, they moved back to Southern California and then went to, what's that, I can't even think, they're off the 55 freeway, that college over there off the 55 freeway. Oh, Cal State Fullerton. I'm sorry, Cal State Fullerton. And when I would be bored, didn't feel like driving up to you know, L.A. area, I would just go hang out with my fraternity brothers over at Cal State Fullerton, right? So then within our Cal State Fullerton crew, Lionel was out here. I meet the Sigmas from out here. Clientele was one of them. Master Rhyme was another one, which is OB out of Compton. That's how it was Dougie Doug and Master Rhyme, and then it was Romeo and Master Rhyme. But anyway, Master Rhyme was another, and then another one was BA. And they used to always just be, in the apartment building, in the apartment we be drinking and, still doing our little college-y frat boy stuff. But they would be freestyling. And BA, and I don't know what happened to this kid, BA. He was nice, right? Him and Master Rhyme, which is OB Price, right? They would be freestyling. They would be lightweight ciphering, battling each other. And Clientele be on the ones and twos. So as I then started building my promotion, after a while, all this wear and tear, all this driving that I was doing stuff was starting to wear on me, right? So I was like, something, man, I need to meet just every DJ in L.A., and I remember Clientele telling me he was a K-Day mix master, right? Man, could you do me a favor? Because now my pocket's got the months, right? I said, man, I'll pay you $700. Just take me to every K-Day mix master house in Los Angeles. So he takes me to M-Walk house. He takes me to Dub C&M house. He takes me to Aladdin's house. He takes me to Jammin' James house. He takes me to DJ Romeo house, Ralph M., Trey Ski, all of them. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm hitting them all off. Bam, giving them whatever they want. Just come in. I become the Santa Claus. Gave them all my number. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Y'all need something. Y'all run out of something. So then after a while, everything that I was giving them, they planned it on their show on K-Day. Because everybody had a little show. So it was like everything I had was getting played. So that's how me and Clientele knew each other. And the weird thing about it, I always thought Clientele was my age. He's way younger than me. So I'm like, Clientele, how old was you when I met you? He said 17. Because he just acts so mature for his age and just a good guy. Now we partners in the Universal Hip Hop Museum together. We West Coast.
Oh, yeah. Clientele, man. He a good friend of ours as well, man. He UGS for life with us. He support us at all times. He even hopped on the compilation album we dropped earlier this year. So Clientele, we always got love for Clientele. He one of the good ones, man. His story need to be told as well,
Real good dude.
Yeah. It's crazy also because on the Michel'le, you got Ice-T, Too Short, MC Hammer way before they known from the
No. Too Short. No, that's a misnomer there. Too Short. Too Short never was on Michel'le. That is one of the few people I didn't do his actual first project. I got Too Short stuff once he went to Jive. Like I didn't do the KRS One first, Boogie Down, of course, on B-Boy. I got when he, you know what I'm saying? I got By Any Means Necessary once he went to Jive. Too Short, and let me just say this. Is it Too Short? Who else?
MC Hammer.
Too Short. No, not MC Hammer. MC Hammer was at Michel'le. Put it like this: Too Short and Too Short and E40 was the only ones who did it themselves. Really, everybody else got pressed at Michel'le or Rainbow. Okay. I did E40's first thing. He had an uncle named St. Charles who found my number somehow, right? And and I think he was a smart man because it was around Christmas time. I just get this call out the blue. It was this guy saying, "Man, I've heard so much about you. My little nephew is coming out. His name is E40. He had this I was so impressed by his get down and go. He said, if you drive out here, I'll pay for your gas. I said, don't worry. I mean, if it's something that's good, man, I'll promote it. But if it's something that's not good, you're not going to hear from me again. I'll take the product. And if I don't call you back, that means I wasn't into it. Okay? He said, fair. So I go and I see this dude's garage, and this garage actually looked like a distribution center. You know what I'm saying? I was like, wow, super impressed. And then I looked to see they had the shrink wraps on the first thing. I always call that mailman. I don't know what the actual first name of that first thing that he put out. But it was really good. I said, no, you know something? I'm going to help you guys. So, as you know, the rest is history. Like maybe a year and something later, I see him at the BRE in San Francisco. Not the BRE, but at the last Gavin convention, the pop one. And But no, Too Short actually did sell that stuff out of his trunk. They was tapes down at Lake Mary on Sundays. And then his name started growing. But Too Short, his early, I got to give it to my sister Letty, told me about Too Short. She was like, Doug, you guys listen to this dude named Too Short. I said, where are you from? She said, from Oakland. And she was playing me the tape. I said, okay. So she said, we're going to go over there. He's going to have a concert at the lake. And we went over there and watched the concert. And, man, it was a gang of people from Oakland there. This dude, I was like, wow, this dude is large. But, no, I never did Too Short. That's why I don't never take no credit for Too Short because I didn't really do nothing. And the same thing like with Ice-T. Ice-T was already on and off on, techno hop. But everybody else, I kind of caught them right when they was about to come out on techno hop. I don't take any credit for King T either. You know what I'm saying? Because Tila was already large. Him, Miss Master Spade, Tidy T, and all of them, don't take no credit for them. That's some stuff that I, worked for Unknown. But anything after that, like the Compton's Most Wanted, yeah, I did that at the from the rip. Only thing, then that's how I go with promotion. If I didn't get you before anybody even ever heard of you, I don't take no credit for it.
Right. You also promoted for Death Row as well. So you was there from the beginning stages of Death Row, and you was real instrumental with the first Snoop Dogg album, which to me was the greatest solo debut of all time, just in my opinion, was Snoop Dogg when he came out, because I'm still a huge fan of Snoop Dogg, but when he first came out, the deep cover was out, and I just couldn't wait to hear something else, you know what I'm saying? And then when the Chronic came out, it was like, this dude got to have his own album, man. So how was your dealings with Dr. Dre when they first started Death Row?
Well, this is what happened. It was really strange. I was working at Ruthless still. At that time they started releasing stuff on Tuesdays, right? So I had my little routine. I go to MCA, pick up a check, go to Ruthless, pick up a check, go to Capitol, pick up a check, go blah, 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 over another company, pick up a check, this company, pick up a check. You get my routine, right? So I go out to Ruthless. I grab their new stuff. They had Jimmy Z. They had the Penthouse Players, which was a quick group. Dre and Jimmy Z, the jazz dude, did something together. Cocaine finally got his name back, so they got Cocaine. They got Hutch Above the Law. Them is coming out. But as I'm going there to pick up my money and to pick up the product, right, I'm noticing there's a lot of producers in here. And I'm like, damn, I wonder why all these damn producers are in here, right? I-Rock was in there. Just a gang of Willa from Solid Production was there. It was just a gang of producers in there. But thought about it, didn't really pay it no mind. I had, a lot of things I try to do move. And me and Eazy always crack jokes, talk shit to each other, deuces each other, then I'm out. You know what I'm saying? That type of deal. So I leave, go to MCA, and still wasn't time where I can hop on the freeway and go home, still living on the Inland Empire. Long story short, I go to Fat Burgers to kill some time. I see Dr. Dre, and I see the DOC, right? And the black convertible vet that they had back then. They would be in the, I'm not sure who owned it, probably Dre, at Fat Burgers. And I was like, what up, boy? See Dre, like, what up, boy? I ain't seen you in a while. Shooting, talking shit. Look at DOC, he was drunk. And Dre staggering into the Fat Burgers. And remember at this time, my pockets got the mumps. My pockets got
you out there
mumps.
Yeah, you out there collecting checks on their ass.
I mean, I would have like 10,000 in one stock and maybe 3,000 over here, and all kind of checks I have in cash. As I'm paying for my burger, and then Dre ordering, and then he ordering his stuff, and I see this nigga counting coins and going back out to the car to get $1. I said, what the fuck's going on with you, dude? He was like, because he was short or something. Then he was like, and then I was like, what? No, what happened was, as he was doing all that, I'm asking, man, what you think about that Penthouse Player record? And he was like, that was great, dude. Cocaine finally got his damn name back. Blah blah. I'm just talking and rattling, right? And then I seen when he was looking for that money, right? And I'm like, well, what's wrong with you? He said, they trying to starve me out, Doug. I said, what do you mean they trying to starve you out? Eazy and Jerry, man, they trying to starve me out. I said, what do you mean? What do you mean they trying to starve you out? He said, I'm not with Ruthless no more. I said, you not at Ruthless no more? Nah, I left, man. Blah, blah, blah. Like a couple of months ago, and whoop, 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 and me, RBX, and DOC, and not quite sure if he said that, because Suge's name probably didn't stand out then, because I really didn't, if he would have even said it, I wouldn't know who he was. But when he said RBX left with him, and DOC left with him, and Michel'le left with him, I said, what? And when did this happen? He said, over the last couple of months, man, they've been trying to start me out. So, you know, my house kind of accidentally caught on fire, and he started laughing under his breath, right? Remember when Eminem said, you did that shit. But anyway, he said, yeah, I'm about to start my own label. And I said, what's going to be the name of it? He said, Death Row. And I said, what? I said, is that right? I said, so what's up? And then he was like, yeah, man. So I said, oh, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. That's why I saw those producers over there. He said, yeah, I've been gone for a minute. Why you ain't seen me? I said, well, you know, I don't really be there a lot anyway. He said, I know, but I've been gone for a minute. I mean, he was like 4 or 5 months or something. He told me, yeah, we over at the Solar Building, and blah, 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 and, you know, we putting together, I got a whole new crew of everybody, man. These dudes is dope. I said, is that right? Then I said, you know something, man? I'm about to go back out here and quit, man. I'm going to come fuck with you, man. I'm going to help you, dude, because you're going to need some help. He said, yeah, you're right. He said, you going to go quit? I said, yeah, man, now it's making sense. I told him, it makes sense now. Because I was like, it was just something wasn't right with everything, you know, and I would listen to some of the stuff. Something wasn't right, you know? And I said, it makes sense. So I said, no, I'm going to go tell these motherfuckers to their face I'm about to quit. I said, but they gave me a check. I'm going to go cash the check first. I went to that motherfucking Wells Fargo bank where they bank at. Cashed that motherfucking check. Raced back out there. Raced back out to, Ruthless, right? Told Jerry, by that time the office had cleared of all the producers. So told Jerry, Gary, the twins was in there, and Eazy was still there. So, yeah, I know what y'all done did. Y'all got rid of Dre. You done fucked up on that one. I said, now, dude, Q, you know, as we starting to see how this music business works, you won't find another new young artist, but you don't get rid of a sound. What do you guys do? Y'all fucked up. Oh, y'all better, I told him, y'all better try to get that dude back because you're going to regret that. And Jerry was like, nah, and this, that, and the other. You don't know what the fuck you talking about, Dad. I said, okay, you little gruff motherfucker. And Eazy was over there laughing up under his motherfucking belt, right? I said, okay, we'll so see who crazy motherfucker in the end. And I said, oh, by the way, I'm going to go work for him. But check this out. Nope, you're not getting your money back. I'm going to go promote these records that I just grabbed from you, but I want to come and tell you guys to your face what I'm about to do so it ain't no little old slimy slithering shit. So yeah, I left there, went back, and Mark the 45 King from New York I had to go meet him at the Margion, right? So he was like, he calls me, Doug, this is 45 King, man. I'm in LA, man. What's good? And anyway, I go to Margion, and as I see Mark the 45 King in the lobby, we see Dre again. And I say, so this where you standing? He said, yeah, this where I've been staying. He was staying at the Margion Hotel right across the street from House of Blues. So he said, yeah, man, so you quit? He said, yeah. And he started laughing. He was like, yeah, like that Dre laugh, right? Under his belt, like, breath, like. And he said, yeah, that snicker, like. And then he said, you gonna come to the studio? I said, I can't come today, man. I just told, because I had to go do something with my kids that day. I forget what it was. But I said, I'm going to be over there tomorrow for sure. And I'm going to bring the 45 King with me, okay? And then Mark the 45 King looks over at him. He said, hey, man, you want a 45 King? He said, yeah, I want a 45 King mixtape. The 45 King gave him one of his mixtapes. So the next day, get up, let traffic die, came and scooped Mark, man, and we got something to eat, floating around L.A., shooting the shit. And I said, come on, let's go on over here to this Solar Building and see what this dude talking about. So we go over to Solar Building. Then I see all these little youngsters running around the studio, happy, smoking weed, you know what I'm saying, bouncing off the wall, old skinny nigga over here, Snoop, trying to remind me of somebody that could be in my family because he looks almost like, his father looks like my father, you know, Snoop's father did. He got that same long, lanky, wiry characteristic about him. Yeah. And then I see Nate Dogg, they playing around, and Drake playing around on the piano. I was like, man, we're going to need a lot of work over here. So I just started telling people to come over there. I told Matthew McDaniel, the videographer, that you see a lot of his footage, right, in the Straight Outta Compton. When you see Dre playing at that piano, I said, Matt, you need to come over here, man. Dre mad as a motherfucker. Everybody. He going to take every producer, and he about to bowling ball all them motherfuckers down. Watch. This nigga mad. I ain't never seen him this mad, man. He'd be concentrated. So I used to go up there and just smoke some weed with him, and I would just sometimes just sit there as I'm buzzing. I would just look at Dre, and that motherfucker had this fucking focused look on his face, and you could just see he was mad. He was like, I can't believe them motherfuckers did me like this. I'm gonna get this motherfucking ass. And you can just, the atmosphere up there was just joyous, man. All these little young kids running around with them little Pendleton shirts on, and everybody smoking weed and talking shit, and every other word was cuz this and cuz that, and cuz this. But I was having fun with him. So that next day, I just then started going up there to hang out with him. And I say, so when we going to have some product out? He said, man, we're working on this Chronic album now. I said, oh, that's going to be the name of it? He said, yeah, it's going to be called The Chronic, nigga. See how we always in there smoking Chronic. I was like, damn, I wish I had something to promote. He said, we have something, but I don't really like it. I said, what you have? Dick made them do. He said, Dick made us do this thing for this movie called Deep Cover. And then Snoop said he didn't like the record either. I said, well, let me hear it. So I listened to it. I said, well, you know, it's a record. We got something. I need something to go because I got to go out here and tell these motherfuckers you ain't going nowhere. So what happened was, this is what happened. I started calling around and pulling in my favorites. I called the Source magazine, talked to Dave Mays and John Schechter. Look, man, y'all need to come out here and write about Dre. Dre done left that motherfucker. So when you see that snub-nosed gun of him, the Source, that was me.
On the Source magazine?
The Source magazine. I got them to send Ronan Roan out here because I knew Dave, and this is before Dave pulled the coup with Benzino. It was Dave and John Schechter because me and Greg Mack was their first Los Angeles writer when they was in the dorms at Harvard when the Source magazine looked like a Chinese menu. You know what I'm saying? So I said, look, I need the fucking help on this, right? Just come out here. It's like, man, we ain't paying for that. And Andre, we heard about him leaving. He made a big mistake, and everybody was just talking shit about he done fucked up, and he can't rap really, and he be screaming and blah, blah. I say, but he still got that sound. He's got these little young motherfuckers going to eat y'all asses up. You'll see. So I said, look, come on, man. Y'all never really gave me no money, Source, so fuck that. And I goes off on John Schechter, right? I said, look. He said, well, Doug, this is what we'll do for you. We'll pay for his fucking ticket there and back. You put him up in a hotel room. You got some fucking money. I said, okay, fuck it, deal. So he comes out. I put him up at the Roosevelt for 3 days, you know what I'm saying, to do the interview. And I was like, cool. So then I'm just trying to do any little thing. So then call the 45 King. I said, Mark, I'm coming out there, man. So I'm going to mail you some of these records I got from Dre. Just hold them. I'm going to bring my own pouch, but that's how me and Mark got out. Mark really helped me in New York when I would promote records. I get to New York, I go to Nails, I go to all the clubs and hit everybody off, right? And I just drop a gang of that deep cover, you know, Bobito, about Stretching Bobito. I just give it to everybody. But the main thing that I do, I just leave a shitload of it at Mark's house, right? Because everybody and their mama used to come to the 45 King house. You know, Diamond D, All Kid Capri, all of the DJs, you know, Large Professor, everybody, okay? So everybody, and then Mark was large back then too, you know. He had like 5 or 6 apartments all over Manhattan. He used to give me keys to whichever one I wanted to go stay at. So he used to really help me. When he come to L.A., I'd do the same for him. We'd grab him and Latifah, Shakim, them back in the day. We go to Spaghetti Factory, Moni, whoever he need me to go grab or go pick up, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? So we go back. I go back after dropping that stuff off in New York, maybe 3 weeks later, right? And go to Mark's house and messing around in Columbus, where I went to the Calvin Klein store to buy some shoes. And as I'm walking down Broadway, I see Hank Shockley. And I said, what up, Hank? He said, Doug, you in New York, what you doing out here? I said, I'm with the 45 King. He's going to rent a limousine tonight. And you should come by, man. We should all go to Superman Clark Kent Club. You know, I just got to go check to see how this record is doing that I dropped off a couple of weeks back. I'm just checking to see, you know, I'm not going to say nothing if they playing, if they playing, if they not, they not. He said, okay. He said, well, what time y'all leaving? And I told him the time, so he gets there. You know, we all, me, him, and Mark the 45 King, you know, we hopped in the limo and pulled up on the velvet rope. We walked into this club, I swear, it's like a scene out of a Belly. We'd already been smoking weed, because that's Mark smoked a lot of weed, right? So I'm kind of dizzy as I'm walking in. And you see this is when the New Yorkers are now wearing Timbs and having them bones in their mouth, you know what I'm saying? And they got that little grimy walk that they do, like, you know, you can tell when that woo was coming. That whole woo look was coming, you know what I'm saying? So we going into the club, and I'm listening to the music that Clark Kenny fucking it up, right? And Papa Large, he's blending Papa Large with Soul Clap, you know, Showbiz and AG. I'm sorry, Showbiz and AZ. Soul Clap. I do it, you know what I'm saying? So he's doing Papa Large. He's blending all that big shot on the East Coast, and then all of a sudden you can hear the ding, ding, ding coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Wait a minute. I'm like, wait a minute. Then it was like, and then you hear that Snoop voice. I'm like, oh,
that took me over. As soon as I heard Snoop, man, I was hooked right off the bat, man. Because that was the first time I heard Snoop.
I'm like,
was
oh,
Deep
shit.
Cover.
I said, they playing that out there? Oh, and then Mark looked at me. Oh, I forgot to tell you. That record blew up out here, man. Because it wasn't like the internet we have now. You know what I'm saying? You have to actually go to somewhere to know what they doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, man, that record, he said, dude, that record's large. All that stuff got ate up at my house when people knew I had the record. I said, what? And then Hank was like, yeah, man. He said, who was the kid? I said, this little tall, skinny nigga named Snoop Dogg. But that motherfucker sounded like a rapper singing. The way that shit used to just come out of his mouth and taste it sounded like candy. You know what I'm saying? And he was just so fly with the way he said that shit, you know? And I was like, damn. So fly home, you know, this Sunday, I take the first thing smoking. I'm out that motherfucker. Fly home, get to L.A., didn't go home. I went straight to the Solar Building. Told the niggas. I said, nigga, guess what? They said, what? I said, that fucking Deep Cover record them blew up in New York. And they say it's blowing up all along that eastern seaboard. So then I shot some overseas, too. So I called some of the people in Denmark, and they told me the same thing. I said, what? And we was all shocked. They was shocked. I was shocked. Because basically the West Coast was killed, wasn't fucking with me. Everybody was like, nah, Dre can't rap. And I was like, man, y'all got to listen to that other dude. I said, man, he sound all right. But it was just the hate. You know, they wasn't trying to rock that Jerry and them boat. Jerry and them still had all the power. Ruthless had the power still. And I was like, okay. And that's why I stopped fucking with people on the West Coast, because I saw the way that they was cock blocking everything. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they had the power. They knew that, you know, like he said, they were starving him out. And they wasn't going to fuck with me neither. So I said, you know something, just take this shit to the East Coast and overseas and just dump all this shit. And it'll be there. Because they just had it just sitting in the Solar Building, doing nothing, collecting dust.
Can you tell us about the Arabian Prince and Egyptian Lover back in the day? And you worked with him?
Well, the Egyptian Lover, he was down in Michel'le. Like I said, I really don't take a lot of credit for people that were already there. Egyptian Lover, actually, I was in college. When I got down to Michel'le, I did promote a lot of his later stuff at Egypt Empire. And then they all broke off from Michel'le and started their own distribution company called West Coast Distribution. If they would have kept that thing, man, that would have been, like, amazing. But as we all know, a lot of people are hard to work with. And at that time, Egypt had, and I got to give it to this woman, she ran his company, and she didn't play no nonsense and no shenanigans. So you had Dream Team Records, you had Egypt Empire, you had Techno Hop, and then you had Crew Cut Records. They all started this distribution company over in Rolling 60. They bought this, or they leased this warehouse. Let's put it leased. I ain't gonna say bought. They leased this warehouse over off Slauson in Rolling 60, right? And they was gonna start doing their thing. And then all of a sudden, it just all fell apart as usual. Everybody went and got those major record deals. But as far as me and Egypt had already was going. That Egyptian lover, baby, that was already large, and I was in college. So